TOP FM.
All right. Once again, we're back on set doing what we love to do, all in the interest of our beloved country, Liberia. Tonight, I have with me on set, as usual, Mr. George H. Nubo. And we're going to have him as our proverbial or de facto special guest tonight because he has done us a very good job and critique the proposer that came out of the National Election Commission, commonly known as NEC, from its current or newly installed chairman. He proposed a lot of things there, and the good we have Mr. Nubo here with us, who have written a beautiful article responding to what the proposer said. If you're out there and joining us, please listen in, comment. We are not current with our radio because the weather is bad, but you can still comment in the comment section. We will now go and do our tradition before we go into discussion. So let me start with me. From the Commonwealth city of Fredericksburg, I want to say the weather here is humid, but beautiful, and we'll thank God for that. Hopefully, there will be no rain because usually when you get a kind of humid weather, it always ends up with rain. But we're hoping that enough is enough with the rain. We have had enough rain on the ground. The ground is saturated. We don't want any more. Having said, I want to go to Mr. George H. Nubo to tell us what's going on within his locality.
Well, I'm George Nubo. I live in the city of Brotherly Love, Philadelphia. Everything here is lovely today. No rain. The weather is good. And I'm also calling from under the oil palms and the rubber trees of Pliwo Sorokan district. Thank you.
All righty.
Glad to be here and speak to you.
Yes.
Simultaneously from Pliwo Sorokan district and from the city of Brotherly Love. Thank you.
You are defying science, but it's okay. Oh my God, Mr. Nubo. Alrighty. So tonight, like I said, Mr. Nubo is going to be our special guest. He's going to talk to us about the new proposal coming out of the National Election Commission. He will tell you why it is important and why it matters. I know it because I read the article and I'd agree with what he has argued in the article. But he's here. Let's hear from the horse's mouth. So, Mr. Nubo, let's hear from you, sir. The floor is yours.
Okay, it was yesterday when I saw the information from the Election Commission about the proposed fees for the presidency. Currently is $2,500 to register, but I jumped to $10,000. And for the VP, it jumps to $7,000. And for Senate, it jumps to $5,000. And for the House of Representatives, it jumps to $3,000. And I started wondering how my auntie Nyamade in Pliwo, who is selling potato greens and bitter ball, who is well informed who know what is good for her and her community. And mind you, we are saying that 30% of our lawmakers should be female. But can Nyimare afford that $3,000 and look for another, say, 10,000 to run campaign? So this caught my attention, and to me, it's like democracy for sale. The lawmakers, those who in the house, it will not take them no more than a day to get $3,000. Those who in a Senate, the same thing. And we are disqualifying majority of our people because they don't have the wherewithal. They don't have the money. And going to the corrupt leaders who find this as job security for them. To say, here is our proposal. You approve it, and other people who say they are crying, other people who say they are progressive, who say they care for the poor, to hell with them. Sorry for my French. But this is how I understood the whole proposal. And when it was posted yesterday, as for the presidency, I saw some Liberians saying it should be 150,000. And even not too long ago, Joel Howard Taylor proposed 15,000 for the president, 10,000 for the VP, 5,000 for the the senator, and 3,000 for representative. And these people here, I mean, Joel Howard is in their category. They have the money. And I'm not talking about how they got the money. We'll get to that point. But I feel that our people have been given a short change. I posted one of the groupies for the people in power, the money people, who call himself God is working wonders. Sumo. Say you like go and write the entire dictionary, but we as Liberia, majority support the increment. This man, you add God in your your name, it does not prove to me that you are a Christian or you are a Muslim. And I'm always, all the time, I would say, against the idea of going and praying for Liberian economy to improve. We bring God into things that God is not to be brought in. Things that we're supposed to do for ourselves. we failed to do them. So I feel that the election commission must be creative, must be innovative. We are not getting to 2029. We have budget for the election, but they want to marginalize the poor people, the females, the young people, and say, "Oh, we need the money, for this, for that." No, in fact, they didn't say it. They didn't say why they need the money, but they proposed this thing here. So, to me, it's not fair to the Liberian people. It's not fair to the poor people. It's only fair to the corrupt individuals who, at the expense of the poor people, enrich themselves. And this is the reason I posted my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. George H. Newbold, for summarizing your article. I think you captured everything. I have my own question, but let me go around the table. Oh, I see Claudia drop. Mr. J. Christopher Nippy, welcome to the platform, sir. How are you doing today?
Well, always a pleasure being on set. The platform provides an enabling environment to speak our minds on national issues. And I want to welcome all of our people in the radio and television landscape. I want to thank you for hosting today. I understand Chris is supposed to be in studio to help us. And Mr. Nubo, I want to say to you, thank you so much. Thank you. In our Liberian balance, we say thank you plenty for introducing a water topic where the election commissioner, the current election commissioner, is trying to distance Liberia, disenfranchise Liberia, who have the requisite qualification to contest as representative, to contest as senator, to even contest the highest seat in the land, where Mr. Weeder.
One second, Mr. Nippy. Mr. Wilfred Russell will be joining us, and I'm told in 5 minutes. So we're going to use the topic as well when he comes on. So I just want to let you guys know that.
Okay, thank you. And you were quick to bring that out. This is a form of disenfranchisement. People were to own land before they voted or they contested any seat. People were supposed to have homes and all of those things, pay taxes before they could come to the election. No, election commission, you have money in your budget. Are you trying to say you will set aside all the millions of dollars that the partners in the international community plus what the government of Liberia will put into your hands? Are you telling us that what are you going to do with those funds? If you are now proposing that the lady in the market who is selling bought up here, but has a passion, her people want her to go and serve in the legislature as a representative. And you are asking that lady to bring the amount that she doesn't make a day. Imagine somebody selling pepper, somebody selling only bitter ball, somebody selling potato greens, somebody selling only palm nuts. But Her neighbors, her constituents want her because she is trustworthy, she is intelligent, and she can do the people's job to go and serve them as a representative. What sense does it make when you, who were poll yesterday, you are now sitting at the election commission as its head? You must be creative. When we who have come from a poor background, like we were discussing the other time, that this thing about B-sharp business, we are the ones who bring about this trouble. As soon as we are educated, the rest of the people are no longer our peers. And you are driving the Liberian people from the poll, which is not exclusively for people who have money. No, it is not. If someone wants to contest the presidency, a party one, and you're talking about $150,000, why? And my dear sister, whom I love so much, is talking about $15,000. Why? Didn't they think about these things here? Didn't they factor that in their decision to have made the laws governing the National Election Commission? I think all those things were factored into the decision prior to the law coming and then being fixed into handbooks to becoming the laws of Liberia, the election laws. So I got a serious problem. I joined Mr. Lugo in this effort for us to let you know, Mr. Whedon, you cannot come from a background of not having anything at all, and now that you have something, and the availability of resources of some people who are educated, they want to contest the election, and you are putting all of the hurdles, you are putting in them. So that means they got to jump over one hurdle, get to the other one that is much higher, jump over that one, get to the one that is higher, and they say, oh, I can't make it. And then they fall back. And people who have stolen, who were not wealthy yesterday, and have gone into the cookie and the Maravilla rock jar and taking money out, you want them to be the one to go. It's a form of corruption.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Nebner. We do have Madam Claudia Emotion Smith back with us on set. Madam Claudia, there, introduce yourself, please. Let me hear from you. Madam Claudia? Okay. We're going to come back to Madam Claudia. While we wait for Mr. Russell to join us, Mr. Nubo, let me come to you with my question. As I said earlier, why won't I ask the man close the camera? Okay. But can you hear me still, though, sir?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. All right. My question is, you provided some justification in the article, but I'm not sure whether you were giving a definitive say reason why these fees were increased. I think it was almost like a supposition. You were saying, if this is the reason. Do you know the concrete reason why the commission and the commissioner chair increased the fees for these positions?
The information available does not say the reason why they increase the fees or why they are proposing to increase the fees. So one has to speculate. Is it because every election we have hundreds of candidates? Is it because they want to fight for the people who have enriched themselves at the expense of the people? So no, they didn't give the the reason why they are making a proposal, and that gave room for speculation. And I feel that if Mr. Wheeler want to establish a legacy after him, there are several things he has to, several or innovations he has to come with. Creative is. We have our election commission saying Judy Bryant time, and we are still not printing our ballots, and we spend millions of dollars on trucks. Certain people getting cut on that, right? 10% rule.
Yeah.
Trucks to export or transport or election materials to the various counties. They are not saying, "Oh, we'll use the equipment or the money to buy equipment." And even if you want to buy equipment, buy trucks, that has to be budgeted. And besides our national budget, you are the election commission. You can create or develop or project proposal and submit that to the partners who usually support the election issue. And so you don't have to go and increase the money. I mean, I saw the Maryland or the lawmakers from Maryland, lawmakers from Southeast, lawmakers from all over Liberia dancing. Victory, victory, victory is ours. Because they will not have Mahawan who said in Kasawali to come and challenge them.
Okay, yes, my next question, I'll move on to Mr. Nippet. You talked about something that is okay. We got Mr. Wilfred in the house.
Okay.
Yes, in the house, gentlemen. So let me put him on stage. Mr. Russell, can you hear me?
I can hear you, sir. How are you?
Excellent. I am doing great. It's good to have you. We apologize for not sending you the link on time. We'll do our best next time, sir. Thank you. It's good to have you.
Apologies well accepted. It's good being here. Good being on your platform.
Okay, great. Let me give you a quick rundown. We are live. We are Top FM. This is a show I Beg to Differ. We accept our guests to come on the show. We appreciate what to say here. Sometimes you give us the time to disagree with you, but we beg to differ. So
Okay.
That is the name of the show. We welcome you. We're also live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're live on our website, www.topfmliberia.com, and we're live on the radio all across the nation, across the world as well. This is your first time on our platform, and we hope that by the time this is over, you'll want to come back again. But the tradition here is that I introduce myself. I go around the table. The panelists introduce themselves. I come to you. You just send me your bio, so I'm going to go over that. And then I'm going to come to you, back to you, and say, Mr. Russell, is there anything that you want to tell us? And then you'll tell us what is on your minds. And then after that, the panelists will ask you questions, and then we'll continue with the discussion. That is just a rundown I wanted to give you. So once again, I'm Archie Wright. I will be your host for the program. And let me now go to Mr. George H. Nubo, who will introduce himself to you. Mr. Nubo?
I'm George Nubo. Welcome, Mr. Russell. George Numbo from the perspective. I'm one of the panelists on the show here. I'm glad that you are here, and I hope this will not be your last time here. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, lots of
Thank you, Mr. Nubo. Now I want to go to Mr. J. Christopher Nippet. Mr. Nippet.
What a pleasure to have in our midst a guest, Mr. Russell from Spoon TV, joining us. And it is encouraging to have him on set. And what a pleasure again to see somebody coming from one side and coming on the other side. And this is what we talk about Liberia. Because in spite of who we are, tribal affiliation and differences, we are one. So when we find another person interested in the show, it creates an enabling environment for a healthy conversation. My name is Christopher J. Nippet. I serve at the, prior to this time, at the Embassy of the Republic of Liberia as Liberia's political affairs officer, political and consular affairs officer, from the interim administration of the late Chairman Judy Bryant, His Excellency Judy Bryant, up to including the tenure of Mrs. Seliff. Prior to that, I worked for the Liberian Produce Marketing Corporation as an assistant manager. I've also have some little background in medical, in the medicine area. So, my pleasure welcoming you. We want you to make this place a home. I've watched you on Spoon FM. Thank you for accepting our invitation, and you are welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nippet. Now I go to Madam Claudia Emotion Smith.
Thank you very much. And I'm so happy that you are here with us, our incoming. I appreciate your responding to our invitation. I'm Claudie. I'm also known as Emotions. I'm a freelance reporter, investigative reporter, and also a photographer here in Liberia. I've worked with a lot of platforms, Hot FM, Daily Observer, Cool FM, Big FM, and so more and so forth. And I'm eager to learn a lot more from you as it relates to how Liberians abroad respect and cherish their involvement in voting and being a part of the political atmosphere. So I'm happy to have you on the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Smith. Now I want to go into reading our special guest bio, and then after that, we'll hand it over to him. So our special guest is Mr. Winfred Russell. Mr. Winfred Russell is a Brooklyn Park City Council member and global health and public policy expert. He is also the founder and director of health equity of the African Career Education and Resources, commonly ACERS, a local nonprofit, and coordinates the state of Minnesota COVID-19 response initiative. Mr. Russell is currently a candidate for the mayor of Brooklyn Park in the general election. Okay, am I reading the updated bio here? This is what was sent to me.
I
don't
no,
think.
I think I don't think so. I think that may have been an error. That's the
Yes.
old bio.
Okay, I'll let you fill in the gap then.
Okay.
Take it from this.
All right, thank you, and it's great being on this platform, and an honor to be here with you all, and great meeting you. And Claudia, thanks for setting this all up. I know you sent me a message a while, but it's been so busy, and I didn't reach to it until lately. So, but we are here, and we keep it moving. So I'm Winfred Russell. I'm a former Brooklyn Park City Council member, and by professionally, I'm a public health expert. I worked on Ebola in 2014, 2015, and then went on to Nigeria to do some work there around polio. And then in the US, I headed a bunch of COVID-19 response work here in the state of Minnesota. I've been actively involved in politics here in Minnesota, ran for the House of Representatives in Minnesota. Year in Liberia. I don't do politics in Liberia at all, so it's just mainly a year. And I'm a frontline advocate and activist on a number of social issues and social causes. So once again, great being here with you all, and let's have a conversation and we just take it from there.
Excellent. Once again, I would appreciate you coming on. So let me begin the conversation with you. Talk to us about the just ended elections that you participated in. What are your takeaways from there?
Thank you. It was great. I mean, always looking for opportunities to represent my people, to represent my community. For context, I live in Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park is the 6th largest city in the state of Minnesota. But it's very important to the Liberian immigrant community because Brooklyn Park hosts the largest number of Liberians outside of Liberia. There's nowhere in the U.S. or outside of Liberia where you have so many Liberians concentrated in one area. And as a whole, in the state of Minnesota, we have the largest number of Liberians in this state compared to other states. And the value of the Liberian immigrant population, or what the Liberian immigrant population puts into the local economy in Brooklyn Park and in Brooklyn Center, for example, is upwards of $800 million a year. So we have all of this going for us, but we have no representation. So for me, I do see that so for me, representation matters. I mean, we have to be at the table. We are a big player here. We have a pretty extensive footprint. So I put my name in the hat when this seat came up again, because here the House of Representatives is every 2 years. Even at the federal level, it's every 2 years. So it's not like we have in Liberia where you have representative, I think, 4 years or 6 years or however long it is. Yeah, it's only 2 years. So I decided to jump in the race and to try to provide representation for my community.
Great. Okay. Now let's come to the demographics. So I was looking at some data yesterday, and I was wondering, okay, I see there are few of you guys that contested in various, positions. Some of you went for the Senate, some of you went for the House. You went for the House. I'm looking at the numbers here. Now you can probably tell me whether this is right or not. Is this within the number of Liberian, the ballpark? Is it within the number 35 to 40,000 of us living in Minnesota? Would you agree with that number?
No, we're more than that. We upwards about 50-some thousand. We've had a lot of secondary migration over the years, but the number is about 50,000. Out of that, 50,000+, majority of Liberians live in Brooklyn Park. Okay.
All right, great. All right, I want to hold it there now because I got a question to follow with that. But let me go to Mr. George H. Nubo, who will ask a question or comment on what you just said. Mr. Nubo? Okay, so Mr. Nubo is now over. Let's go to you, Mr. Nippet. Mr. Nippet, your question or comment?
Well, when I was at the embassy, the number of Liberians in the United States was less. You talk about 50,000 now, because I work closely with the people in Minnesota and all over like the United States. And you talk, what is the exact number of citizens in the Brooklyn Park area? Specific number of citizens in Brooklyn Park area.
The last time I checked now, oh, there's some echo going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. So the last time I checked, when I was on the city council, so I left the city council, my term ended. I spent 1 year, 1 year term on the Brooklyn Park City Council. The number of Liberians living in Brooklyn Park was about 15,000. That number may have shifted downwards a little bit because many of those Liberians who live in Brooklyn Park at the time, and a lot of these apartment complexes, they've moved out to adjoining suburbs within the Minneapolis-St. Paul metropolitan area. So I'm not sure what that number is, but I'm almost certain it is not 15,000 anymore. But we still have the largest number. So there are some estimates that put it to about 8,000 or so.
How do you make us to understand? Or let me put it another way. Can you make us to understand where this figure of 50,000 is derived from? How you got to the 50,000?
Okay, so the 50,000.
Because you're talking something like 35,000 less than 50,000 when you have 15,000 in Brooklyn Park.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, I'm quoting. Yeah.
Mr. Nepe, please mute yourself. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Okay. So the 15,000 was based on some census data, and then data from the healthcare services treating Liberians, a combination of data from there, and then from the school district, the number of kids in the school and their parents and all of that. So we do not rely entirely on the census data, and the reason is because it is, I mean, that's the quote unquote the official data, but it is inaccurate because we have a lot of secondary migration going on. There are a number of people who don't respond to the census for fear that they will be picked up by immigration, even though the census doesn't do that, but we have that inherent fear in immigrants here, especially immigrants who do not have the paperwork in order, completing the census. And so we don't rely entirely on the census number because we know that it is woefully inaccurate. So we then pull numbers and extrapolate from all these different sources, from the census, of course, but from people getting government services, medical services, school district data, and all of that. That's how we came up with that number. And so the 35,000, that was like back in the 90s or so. The community has grown since, and when we had a lot of refugees and a lot of folks coming here, resettling here from refugee camps in Ghana, in Ivory Coast, in Guinea, and other places, the official number of people who were resettled here, we met a community here. I was not one of those who were resettled, but I moved here from North Carolina to Minnesota. So that's part of the secondary migration that I'm talking about. So you see a lot of people have been moving here, moving to North Dakota, for example, but moving to Minnesota because of the generous welfare system that we have here. So that 30,000+ people who came exploded in the late 90s, early 2000s, and all of that. And now Many of these folks have had kids. So you're talking about almost 25, 30 years. And so those kids are grown. And I mean, you should just see our July 26th program, for example, and you see how massive the numbers are of people who showed up. So that's where we're getting those numbers from. But if you're looking at official census data, it's not going to give you the full picture.
Thank you, sir.
Archie, you are mute.
Once again. Yeah, Mr. Nuba, your question, sir.
Okay. The census data are still talking about over 30,000 Liberians living in Minnesota. A July 25 proclamation by Governor Tim Walz declaring Liberian Heritage Day specifically referred to the needs of over 30,000 Liberians living in Minnesota. So the number is still, I believe, is still valid. Maybe the Brooklyn Park number is the one estimates at 3,838 living in the Brooklyn Park area. But my question has nothing to do with these numbers here. Honorable Russell, I was in Brooklyn Park there 2013 for 2 months when my relative, Isaac Russell, was living. When I came from Liberia, before I came here to Philadelphia. There, and even before returning to Liberia from Atlanta, I heard stories about the Somali organization. Do you think that if Liberian organizations were like the Somalis? We have EULA here. The only Liberian organization in the U.S. I know that has office is the one in Minnesota. EULA does not have office. So my question is, do you think that if we were united, if we were serious, like the immigrants from Somalia, don't you think there are going to be, more chances of you winning the elections that you did not win?
Thank you, Mr. Nebo. That's an interesting question. And a lot of people have debated that issue and sort of unpacked it in so many different ways. And my opinion is that yes, it may be possible, but the Somali community is slightly different, not slightly, but very different from the Liberian community culturally, ethnically. It's a little different. So we are not comparing apples to apples here. So
Okay.
so there were all these variations in attitudes and cultural practices and ethnicities and all of that. The Liberian community or Liberian, we are mainly tribal based. The Somalis on the other side, they are mainly clan based. So there's a difference between tribe and clan, right? Then the other piece to it is that the Somali community is almost a monolith religiously. So, but 99% of Somalis are Muslims. The Liberian is a very diverse religiously. We are very diverse religiously. Even in the Brooklyn Park in Minnesota, yes, there are about 60 plus Liberian ethnic churches here. But there are a few mosques, there are a few Muslims here, mixed among us. And then you have all of these different tribal groups. The Somali, with their clan-based system, they have the respect for the elder, they have the elder council, they have all of that. We don't necessarily have that. People cling more to their tribe than to the community. Then, where the Somalis are concentrated in the Twin Cities metro area, 80% of the Somalis who live in Minnesota, in the state of Minnesota, almost 80% of them live in the Minneapolis area. So that's one of the reasons why you see, for example, Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman, keeps getting elected because her people just live in that area, not, they live up all over the state, but they're heavily concentrated in that area, making it easier for one of them to get elected. And many of them, the state legislature, I think there are about 9 Somalis, 9 legislators of Somali descent in the Minnesota state legislature, for example. And many of them come from that district. I mean, they're on the school board. They're all over the place. They have huge political representation. In the Liberian case, where we dominate in the Brooklyn Park, in the northwest suburbs within the Brooklyn Park area, many of us have moved out into other areas. We're not concentrated like the way the Somalis are. Number one. Number two, we cling more to our tribe than we do to the community or the country. The Somali, they don't have a tribe. They're one group for the most part. They have Bantus and other groups there, but the majority of them, just 90% of them, they're Somali, they speak, Somali, they speak one language, one religion, so it's much easier. I mean, it's a much more coherent community structure than we have within the Liberian, community, for example. And then we spread all over the place. So it makes it a little difficult. So it's not the same. Now, granted, if we have a unified community working, we have to work with other communities for that matter to be able to win. With the Somalis, they can depend on them, on the Somalis for the most part. I mean, they still need other community, but they have a large footprint. And then 95% of Somalis in Minnesota are U.S. citizens. The percentage of Liberians who are U.S. citizens and are eligible to vote, it's much lower than the number of Somalis who are U.S. citizens and eligible to vote. So if you all have been following, you remember during the ICE Metro surge, where Trump, the federal agents came here, they were targeting the Somali community, they were raiding all of that. The reason you see a lot of Somalis were not deported is because many of them, a vast majority of them, U.S. citizens. That's not the case within the Liberian community. So there are some variations there. There are some similarities. There's some things we could do differently for sure, to work, but to work out. But the gear want to be, Mano want to be, by themselves, and the Pella want to be by themselves. All the other groups the Crown want to be by themselves. All that sort of stuff. So what we have, that national identity, national coalition, where all of us just come together, we are as Liberians. We are not this, we're not that, it will make it easier, but that's not what we have, So just like you see back in Liberia, the community here is a macrocosm of what you see is happening in Liberia.
Thank you very much. I want to say I'm from Maryland County, and when we go to NAMCA convention, nobody speaks. Crew there, nobody speaks. Gribble there. We go there. Even people, from what is now Grand Crew, people from what is now River G. We go there and we speak English, and that is not tribal based. And the Somalis have their national organization that is getting paid by the organization. Well, in Liberia or here with the Liberians, as I said to you, in Minneapolis, the group there is the only Liberian organization that has office. Maybe, second to that would be, LAMA, the Liberian Organization of Metropolitan Atlanta, because of the umbrella organization we have. It's not reaching out to all these groups here. And you are, as a politician, you in the U.S., Liberian politician in U.S. politics, what effort have you made in reaching out to ULAT for ULAT to be a true umbrella organization for all, or organization for all Liberians in the U.S.? That's my second question.
Yeah, thank you. My power and influence is limited. They're limited because I operate largely within the American political space. And the way EULA operates, EULA is it's a membership-based organization of different Liberian community organizations in all of the states. So it mainly the people who represent these various community organizations are part of EULA or have any influence part of EULA. However, I worked with EULA very closely to secure the LRRF bill that gave Liberian a pathway to citizenship during the first Trump administration. I was front and center of that. So I worked very closely with them when I served in the Brooklyn Park City Council, for example. I worked with Emmanuel Wetty, who also part of EULA and all of that, to push through the dual citizenship bill that he led and with EULA and all of them. So I supported that too as well. So if EULA, for example, had put together a civic engagement platform and that's a great idea that you bring up, to support Liberian immigrants who are running for public offices in America, whether you're in Delaware, Philadelphia, Atlanta, Michigan, or Minnesota, where they can support them. I mean, financially, help them with their candidacy and all of that. That would be great. That would be helpful. But EULA is not doing that. So I can be of service and help to identify some public dollars, public resources for EULA. If EULA had a program like that, for example, a civic, program educating Liberians, because one of the things is that education. Many people here don't even know. So talking about my election, many people don't even know the district lines. So some people are calling me. So say, for example, I'm in Painesville, and I'm running for office. My district is in Painesville, but someone from Broadville will be calling me. So what is it? Painesville is what or around ELWA. Okay, say like the Yeke Koloba district. What's it? District 9 or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. So somebody will be
District 10.
Okay, District 10, for example. So if you are in District 10, you're running for a seat in District 10. If you live in Broadville, you're not eligible to run in District 10. You're not eligible to vote in District 10. So yeah, it's the same thing. So I'm in District 38A. People will be living in, for example, a place like Marshall and say, "Hey, can I come and vote in District 10?" No, you can't. So voter education is critical, so people understand how the process works. Because here we have convention, we have caucus, and then convention, and then all of these in the primary before you get to the general election. So there's so many different steps here that many Liberians, even the ones who are citizens, don't understand. And that's part of a role that I think EULA could play, or come in and try to help with voter education, helping to get out the vote. You have many other organizations in this country, as you well know, like the Jewish organization, Hispanic organization, African American organization. They do those kinds of civic engagement. They do those kinds of civic work to get their people to vote and participate in the electoral process, because representation matters. But EULA doesn't do that. If EULA were doing that, I could, be of greater service, because I know that space. But a lot of what EULA has been involved in over the years, when they reach out to me, I have helped. I have contributed in many ways.
Thank you very much. Actually, that was my second question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nubo. Now I go to Madam Claudia, and then we'll come to Mr. Monju.
Thank you very much. Mr. Russell, I want to really commend you. The reason why I reached out to you to have you on our program, because everyone needs to really understand that you took a lot of courage to even run against the seated representative of Minnesota. We all know is the first Kenyan representative to be seated in the legislature. So, and you came very close. You having, I think, 41.8% votes. He 48.8% votes. So I really want to commend you on that. But we have to look at the reality. I'm sorry I never identified myself as a former legislative reporter for Bush Chicken. But when it comes to politics, I like to get clarity. And despite knowing that Minnesota has the largest, when you talk about immigrant, it has the largest Liberian immigrant community. We know that looking from Facebook and other social media platforms, they did not vote in a unified bloc. And I know that had a lot to do with the results. Secondly, I also know that you're very vocal for Joseph Boakai's administration. And looking at the community in which were up for voting, majority of them are against the regime of Joseph Boakai. So we know that caused a lot of people not voting for you based on that political fact. I'm so sorry. I only get network when I stay in certain places. I'm so sorry for the background noise. But anyways, my question I want to ask you, and please, like I said, I only want clarity. Brooklyn Park, we know, has so many needs. Housing, because we're talking about a large amount of Liberian population. So imagine the housing. Probably got 2-3 families living in one or 2-bedroom apartments. We talk about education because we know a lot of the Liberian community have immigration challenges. And I can recall when I was younger, immigration challenges meant not going to school. Then we know you also have a lot of public safety issues, HIV being one of the major health problems in your community. Do you think that your campaign was rather influenced by what's happening here in Liberia? Because, like I said, we know you're vocal, you know what's going on here on ground. Do you think that that could have caused a lot of the issues and you not getting your votes? Because you should be focusing over there rather than what Joseph Boyka administration is doing.
Thank you very much, Claudie, for that question. Let me say it emphatically that I'm not a Unity Party member, never have been a Unity Party member. I'm not a member of any political party in Liberia, never have been. I came to the U.S. In right out of high school, college, during the war. So I've never really practiced in Liberia or done anything in Liberia. The only time I worked in Liberia was during the Ebola crisis when I was actually based in River G. So I served the entire southeastern corridor. That was my first time and only time, working in Liberia. So I have no affiliation with any of the political parties there, not the CDC, not the ANC, none of them. However, I've tried to leverage my access here and platform, if you may, even when I serve in the Brooklyn Park City Council, to support what is going on there in Liberia. Because I know the people desperately need service, the people desperately need help. So I try to do the best I can to support them. But no, I do not, and I have not supported the Boyka administration. I know that allegations are being made. People have been, speculating that all over the place. That is totally false. I support the Liberian people and all of the government folks who support Liberians. I do. During the George Weah administration, Patrick Sudu brought him to Brooklyn Park to minister the Brooklyn Park here, and we gave the Liberian National Police uniform, supplied them with uniform and tactical gear and all of that. Since Joseph Boyka came to power, I did the same thing with Gregory Coleman, continued to support the police and law enforcement. When George Weah was there, we worked with Kakata. We established a sister city relationship with Kakata. And we provided a lot of services, a fire truck to the Margibi County Police Department, and to Kakata. We provided ambulances, fire truck, police uniform, police gear. So I work with all these governments, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf government, same thing. So it is not true, contrary to all of what you read on social media or in Facebook, that's not the case. And why do I do that? Because I focus on my constituents here, but my constituents here also care about what happens in Liberia. So I have to do, to support them however way, I can. So they come up to me and I leverage my connection to provide school supplies, books, and, other things, because some of my constituents here, want that to happen. But no, I don't support any of the political
Thank
parties.
you very much. Thank you. I don't want you to go too long into that because I'm happy for the clarity. Like I said, it's clarities and not allegations. But looking at what you've done for Liberia, because that's a very strong strategic way in campaigning. I mean, everyone wants the betterment of their people for their people back home.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing over there? There's a lot of people that have HIV. I've seen people get deported. because of allegations of spreading it. I've seen people coming back here because they're unable to get an education, so they seem mentally unstable, and the family just literally like say, "Look, let me send you back home because you don't want to learn, and we can't help you to learn because our owner paper's not good yet." So what are you doing back over there in Minnesota for the same, the same sectors, health, education, and so on? Thank you.
So I mean, I'm limited in what I can do because at the end of the day, what the Americans look at and say, look, if we cannot use our tax dollars to go and take care of another person's problem, especially overseas. I mean, you can't even do that for another community here or another state here, let alone another country. But even with all of those restrictions around, we're still trying to find some way to help out. So I've done a lot of work around sexually transmitted diseases, HIV, before, but at the local level, my mandate is pretty restricted. But a couple of the things I've tried to do is that provide some medical supplies. Like for example, I team up with a group of doctors from Monrovia to have medical clinics in Flumpa, Nimba County, for example. Every 3 times a year, people go out there to provide, just basic blood checks, vital signs, checks, and vaccination, and over-the-counter type drugs. So, I do that a lot. I help out to provide, ambulances. I have. To the fire trucks, and to the fire station. But there's just so much I can do, especially in this limited space. And remember now, Claudia, I have not been in any political position since 2024, but I continue to serve my people the best I can. So I work with politicians there on the ground. I work with institutions on the ground to try to help as best as I can, whether it's around medical issues, whether it's around the basic healthcare type issues, education. I do that, but there's just so much I can do, and even with Senator Darius Dillon, his the center that he has in, I think it's rehab or so. I've worked with him very closely to provide beddings, to provide supplies and other logistical things for his center. So whatever I can do, a lot of people know. That's why a lot of people reach out to me, the government folks and others, because they know that I can deliver, I can help. But there's just so much I can do, and I'm not in office. And so one of the things I try to tell our people here, Liberians, especially within the Brooklyn Park area, is that we need a seat at the table. So if you elect me or elect somebody to represent your interests, we'll be able to do more. But you imagine, Claudia, I'm not even in government. I'm not been in government since 2024, but I continue to do what I do to make an impact, not only to Liberians here, but Liberians back in Liberia and to their folks. But even at that, there's just so much I can do without being at the table, where I have access to way more resources than I do now, not being at the table.
Thank you very much. And I again commend you for your humanitarian services. My final question, because that was just the first. You came within just a few hundred votes of the unseating. And I want to know from you, looking back at that, what campaign strategy you think would be the biggest lesson you learned about the whole entire campaign and the whole entire elections?
Brilliant, beautiful question. Thanks a lot. I mean, we try to do things differently. Every election, you learn from it. There's always lesson learned. One of the things we learned this time, we're still disaggregating the data, and we're still looking at all the different things that we could have done, and all of that. But I think one lesson learned is that to engage more non-Liberians than we did this time around. We did. We had Asian people working with Asian folks, working with white people, working with Liberians. Of course, we had a lot of Liberian volunteers, but we needed to increase that number so we can knock more doors. Because as you know, campaigning here in America is very retail oriented. So you go door to door, you meet each individual person, and talk to them and engage them and try to get that, to try to get the vote. So you need a lot of volunteers, and so trying to get more volunteers outside of the Liberian community, I think, is one lesson that we learned. Another lesson is that to try to appeal to the leaders in the community to get a unified community, because that's part of what hurt us. Okay, because we did not have a unified community. You had some people voting against other Liberian candidates for whatever reason. Some were tribal based. Some were, hey, I don't like the president. I don't like the, based on baseless, allegations. So having a unified community, having a unified base, even though all the Liberians who live here don't live in Brooklyn Park, but they have friends and they have relatives who live in Brooklyn Park. And, when you don't have a unified base, it makes it difficult, especially when you're going against an incumbent. I was running against an incumbent, even though, the number of Liberian immigrants here far exceeds the number of Kenyan immigrants. Don't even compare. For every one Kenyan, there are about 5 or pretty close to about 8 Liberians. So but you cannot win the race with just one community. You cannot win it just Liberians. So you need to build alliances and build relationships with more community. And I think that's one of the lessons I learned, was that we needed to increase the diversity of our team, and then appeal to leaders in the community to ensure that even before the first ballot was cast, that we had a unified community. Even if you don't support me, don't speak ill of me, or don't discourage another person from voting for a Liberian candidate, for example. And I think those are some of the things that we learned.
Thank you, Madam Claudia. And let's go to now Mr. Monju. Mr. Monju, please introduce yourself and ask your 2 questions, sir.
Yeah, as you said, Monju Kessel. I live on the West Coast. I'm a businessman. So Mr. Oh, and let me say, actually, when I saw that note that the system had gone down in Liberia, I just thought that we wouldn't be on today until I saw.
I know, that's why I had a
follow-up note that you sent, right? So that was pretty smart on your part to do that, because that's what brought me out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So to Mr. Russell, first of all, let me thank you. I've been, following you. You've been making some really smart patriotic moves in Liberia, fire truck and other resources you've been providing on the ground. I've been seeing that on Facebook. So, yeah, got to give you your propers for that. But what I want to find out from you, since 2022, looking at the data you have been running in Minnesota, I personally think that your focus has been on the Liberian community. And even if that's your focus, you're supposed to have another focus on getting people to register, people that live within your district. But it appears that you failed in that regard. So, and you did mention, thanks to the question asked by the previous panelists, that it's a situation of you not broadening your base. Your focus seems to be fully on the Liberian community. And I live in the Liberian community for many, many years in the United States. You really can't depend on those people. So the fact that you say, well, you know, you're doing the door-to-door knock, but before you do, you know, that helps bring people out to register and all that. It just it appears that you really didn't learn much from your previous defeats. I mean, that's what I would say. You know, looking at the data here, because the first defeat in 2022, you and your team need to come out and say, okay, these are the corrective actions we need to take. Apparently, you didn't do that, so you went down in 2024. 2024, you come back, say, okay, here's the data. We need to go big, you know, bring in other people from other communities and all that. And the fact that, you know, it didn't happen again means that whatever plan you had failed. Tell us.
Thank you, Mr. Kessel. You know, it's easier, as we say in America. We are now doing what the Americans will call Monday morning quarterbacking, right? Or what the book people would say, an after-action conversation. So did we make mistakes? I mean, for sure we make mistakes. I mean, every campaign you make mistakes, you learn from it, you move on. I think we learned a lot the last time. So to insinuate that we probably didn't learn anything because we didn't win, or we may not have implemented all of what we learned, I would disagree with that. I think we learned a lot. I mean, every campaign is unique, is different, different sets of challenges. So if you prepare for the challenges you had the last time when you come in, and then you get, you know, you get a different set of challenges and all of that. So that happens too as well, right? So if you look at my campaign staff, we have paid white canvassers going from door to door. We have paid Liberian canvassers going door to door. We didn't have that the last time. We went to Liberian churches, a few Liberian churches. We have about 62 in the community. We probably visited 3 of the 62 churches we have in the community. So our campaign was not heavily focused on the Liberian community. We tried to diversify that, and we did that. We had Asian people door knocking for us. I partnered with an Asian senator who endorsed me, but we served on the Brooklyn Park City Council together, so we had a really good relationship. We sent out almost 3,000 flyers or mailers, as we call it here, with both of our pictures on the campaign and joint campaign going on. Her picture information on one side, my picture information was on the other side. That's something that we didn't do the last time, okay? I grew up in Ganta, Nimba County, so I had all my Nimba folks here. I had a group called Nimba for Russell. They all came out, were helping to door knock, okay? We didn't have that the last time. So we had white campaigners. We have over 5 white people campaigning for us, trying to get the people to come out. But we were running out against an incumbent. The last time when we went, there was no incumbency, going on. I lost by 48 votes. This time around, I lost by, 261 votes, about 7% of the population. Dynamics change. We have more people show up to vote this time than we did the last time. The last time we did not have such a diverse team. But what I was saying to Claudia was that, yes, we had that, but we needed to increase it. I think it's one of the lessons learned, we needed to increase it. But what hurt us the most it was not so much the lack of diversity within our core campaign team, Mr. Cassell. What I think hurt us, if you want my, based on our initial analysis, we have not fully done a full-fledged deep dive and analysis of everything and all of the crunching all of the numbers. But having said that, what hurt us, I think, was incumbency, that I was running against an incumbent. And in Minnesota, at least, the Democratic Party here is called DFL. And that stands for Democrat, Farmer, Labor. So they work very closely together. They will merely support the incumbent and someone who received the Democratic Party endorsement. I did not receive the Democratic Party endorsement. My opponent did not receive the Democratic endorsement, but she was an incumbent. So all of the labor unions, all of this group was supporting her. So if you look at the landscape, what we did to challenge a sitting representative, okay, who had the Democratic Party machine behind her, we did extremely well. But that doesn't mean that we didn't make mistakes. But one of the mistakes was not because we didn't have a diverse team or because we focused so heavily on the Liberian community, because we didn't. So the incumbency hurt us. Then we had a community that was not unified, my base community. So even though you're depending on a lot of other communities, you still need your base to be solidly unified. We didn't have that. And so those two major factors, impacted us and influenced the direction of the vote.
Yeah, well, seems like you did, the best you could. And my question to you, the 21st century nowadays, most candidates pretty much use social media to advance the campaign. I mean, whether somebody running for a local government position up to the presidency, and you told me all what you did from an analog angle. You went to doors. You got the support of, people that you serve with on the council. What was your social media presence? And if you were to grade your social media presence, say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it? Because that's in fact, there's some people like 30 to 40% of what they do is on social media. Because that's how you bring out the younger people. And that's how you bring out people that probably don't even watch television or listen to radio. That's a base right there to tap into. Go.
That's a good point. And I think one of the ways that Claudia was able to reach me, to get me, was through social media. So we have a very robust social media presence. We had paid, as a matter of fact, our graphic artists, people, you might be, excited to hear this, but our graphic artists, all of the folks who design our graphics for social media are based in Liberia. Because like you said, everything is done electronic. It's not in America. They were based in Liberia. All the design, if you've seen any of our designs out there, based in Liberia. Then we had a white lady who was doing our social media ads and all of that, your paid consultant. Then we had an Asian lady who did all of our website. If you go to winfred.org, you will see our website. She did all of that. So we had a very good. So if you had for 1 to 10, I would grade our social media presence to 9. Okay.
So were you on X? Were you on X? Were you on Instagram? Were you on TikTok?
We're on Instagram, not on X, because when we did the analysis, a lot of the people in our district who vote now, you bring in some new voters. That's why we had an increased number of people showing up, because traditionally and typically, as you may probably know, a lot of people in America do not vote during primary election. So trying to get them out. So a lot of the older folks, where we got hurt, that as far as the demographic is concerned, was mainly the older white people who vote. Okay, and they're not, in these assisted living homes, nursing homes. They don't have social media like that. So that's part of where the door knocking and the door-to-door came in. But we had a very robust social media presence. So we were not on X, we were on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And we're running a lot of Facebook ads. And I mean, you go there now, you just pop in my name. I mean, you will see there's a lot of stuff. We're doing short videos, 30-second videos here and there. So we're doing all of that. So yes, we were on social media. And then of course, I was on Spoon TV. So it was on Spoon TV, it was on other platforms, Dead too as well. A lot of our messages were carrying all of these big group chats and all of that. So, like I said, from our initial analysis, what hurt us was because even in those white-dominated areas, like the city of Osseo, we got clobbered there, where 95% of the population there is white. Okay, and it's a small little sleepy town. So if you look at the numbers, the breakdown, you will see that she defeated us, big time. The other precincts, they were like 2 years. We defeated her in some. That if you look at the spread of the numbers, you will see that But in the white-dominated area, where the people looking at these information coming from the Democratic Party, and you have to understand that Brooklyn Park is 85% Democrat. 85% Democrat. So if you have the Democratic Party sending out information, flyers, and all of that, vote for the president, vote for the incumbent, vote for this, vote for that, that makes a huge difference. Yeah, that will hurt us big time, Sekesel. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Monju, and we're going to go, Mr. Russell. We're going to go another round with the panelists.
Okay.
We're going to switch gear, but the gear is not going to be switched too deep. It's going to switch to what is currently happening in Liberia. And as a politician, we want to hear from you. Something.
I want to go to the line.
But before you go to the line, we have not said anything to Mr. Russell.
Gentlemen, we are not going to the line.
Apart from introducing ourselves. Don't you think it's fair enough? Sir?
Are you guys hearing me?
I'm hearing you.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm saying we're not going to the lines tonight.
Oh, okay. You're going to come to me.
Yes. After me, I'm going to come to you. I'm going to go around. We're still with Mr. Russell on the just ended Democratic primary in Minnesota. After that, we're going to switch gear and talk about the NEC and this new proposal with candidate feeds and all that. Okay. I got to take the call. So Mr. Nippet, come in, please. See, Mr. Russell, I'm going to call him.
Well, Mr. Russell, it's good that you are with us. I have placed you in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 buckets. 6 buckets of constructive engagement this evening. One has to do with your own contribution to Liberia, where being a patriotic Liberian and concerned about our fire, Ebola, you decided to do something in that line. From your own explanation, you serve as, I think it's council, something about the council rep. And then you talk about incumbent being an issue. You also drove down to EULA, and the Liberian community not working in concert, not very collaborative. You're not building a harmonious relationship amongst themselves. I leave all of those 5 buckets. My concern here is that you have been a council member. We are a very cherished kind of people. We believe in ourselves. And when I say we believe in ourselves, I'm speaking collectively. The fact that you have been there, you have influence in the politics associated with Liberians being in Minnesota. Where do you stand with the death of the Liberian man at the hands of a white man? When he went to serve, instead of someone who was on that shift, what can you tell us, sir, has been your own involvement in seeing how the family can float in his absence, sir? That would be my first question.
Again, thank you. Now, I'm not sure which death you're talking about, which man you're talking about, but if it is the young man who was stabbed by a staff that is apparently someone who was taken care of that is apparently deranged, if that's who you are talking about, I didn't know him. I heard about the situation and reached out to.
I think his name was Prince Gamonyu or Gamode. But you are right when you say that he was stabbed by someone who is allegedly, because I don't know the facts about that, allegedly mentally deranged.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So I know I attempted to go to the funeral because I heard he plays football, and I attempted to go to the funeral, but the funeral was held out of town, so it was not in this area. It was held, out of town. So I did go to a football game or so they were having in his memory. But I don't know the family. Usually what happens is that, so one of the things is, let's put this in context, right? So one of the things is that, yes, because people know I'm serviceable, because people know I'm resourceful, so a lot of people reach out to me. But at the same time, even there was another Liberian young man who just passed away. He drowned, and someone contacted Stanton from Spoon, and Stanton's like, okay, he contacted me. And I was actually outdoor knocking, campaigning when they reached out to me. And I gave them the address to where I was, and they came there, and I suspended my campaigning to talk to them and to see if I can provide them information, information for a lawyer. And, we kept talking back and forth, and the community leader called me and said, hey, you know what? The folks call me, but when people call you, you have to, send them over to us, to the official Liberian community organization. So I try to stay within my lane, even though a lot of people reach out to me. So for the case that you're asking me about, nobody reached out to me. Usually people will reach out to me and let me know, say, hey, I have there's so many of them. You go on my wall, you will see a lot of them. You go on Facebook on my wall, you will see a lot of them. So you don't have to take my word for it, but that's what happens. So people reach out to me because the community is big, and people, they live all over the place. So you have to reach out to me to say, hey, I need this help, I need this connection, and all that kinds of stuff to make it happen. The particular case you're talking about, I didn't know anything about it. I heard about it, and I did attempt to go to the funeral, but I found out that the funeral was out of town, and I couldn't.
Let me please let me interject right there.
Okay.
Then it tells me what obtains in Minnesota that the community of Liberians are not together. In your own words, sir, you attempted to attend. You only attempted to attend, but you said, oh man, they're carrying the body fireplace at a time. Why should I waste my time to go there? That is the inference of the language. because but hear me out well. When Liberians are having events, people fly, people drive 2 hours, 3 hours or more to attend what is only a celebration of a friend, birthday, or marriage. But here is the case of one of your citizens. When you serve as a council member, a Liberian is deceased, and the way that Liberian passes is so egregious, unacceptable. But yet still, you attempted. You try to patch it with you were running your campaign going door to door, and something happened, and you had to suspend that. You wanted to go to a seat, and something happened, you suspended that. That was a campaign in your own interest. But you did not see any reason to attend the brother's funeral. Does it not speak about the lack of togetherness, lack of interest, the question of not being integrated as a whole Liberian community? Does it not speak to that, sir?
No, Mr. Nippy, and I think it's being unfair to me to expect all of this from someone who is not a community leader, who is in any official position other than an ordinary citizen. I once served, and my track record is extensive. Go on my Facebook page, you will see all of the different tragedies that happen in this community. I'm at the forefront of it. The people reach out to me and let me know. I'm one person, right? So I can only be to a place if I'm told. I mean, in as much as I'm connected as I am, there are still some things that I don't know about, or I don't hear about. What I was trying to explain to you is that there's an official Liberian community group here that people reach out to when these things happen, and they get involved and they do a lot of things. I tried to tell you about an example of where a young man drowned, and Stanton Witherspoon connected them to me, and they called me, and I told them, say, okay, I'm out campaigning, and they said, no, we want to see you. This is that. They flew in from Philadelphia. I stopped and attended to them, gave them some connection, asked them, what I could do, blah, 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 blah. In my role as a private but influential or well-known citizen within the community, I did that. When the head of the community organization heard about that, said, no, we're taking care of it. When you get these calls, send them to us. I said, okay, I respect your role. Next time we'll do that. And then I came back to try to explain to you the circumstances around the situation with the young man you're talking about who was stabbed. It's a tragedy. I couldn't go to his funeral. I would have loved to go to his funeral, attempt to go to his funeral, but I did not know where it was. Come to find out that it was out of town. And I couldn't go, but I went to his memorial service on the field the Sunday of that week, because I think his funeral was either Friday or Saturday or something. I did go there to honor him. Now, what you're saying to me and what you're telling me, Mr. Nippy, and what others have said to me too. I mean, you're not the first person to say that. So let's contextualize this, right? All of the other candidates, including the Kenyan woman who represent us now in the position that I tried to get, nobody requires or expects her to go to all of our different functions here and there. Or whether I'm running for election or not running for election, you go there, do your investigation, check. I am there. The white people who represent us, the Black American who represent us, nobody required that of that. of them. It's a double standard. So why do we expect something higher from our leaders, and the people who we vote for, we don't hold them to the same standard? I think it's unfair, because if you even do a medium search on my Facebook page or social media profile, you will see that I am very engaged. Whether I'm in office, whether I'm running for office or not, I'm very engaged.
Mr. Russell, I think the question was not answered, but we're going to leave it as it is. I'm going to just leave it as it is. It was not properly answered. Let me come back to you.
Okay,
on
what is your question then?
Because you try to insinuate that the question is picking at you. It's not fair. Then the question becomes, what is then fair? If a Liberian citizen under such a circumstances was murdered, and because Tender Witherspoon did not call you, or somebody did not call you, you are tempted to go there. But you dismissed it, because according to you, that's the inference of the language. You dismissed it because the person was taken to be buried in a far distance. Had you not said that you attempted and you couldn't go or did not go because it was buried in a far distance, I would not have come to that question. You could have window dressed it a way that you thought would be suitable, and I will accept it. But when you speak the language that we all understand very well, contextually, we must ask you question. So you did not answer the question. But let's put that in a separate bucket. Let's leave that for now. And come to this question here. Mr. Russell, you were very instrumental. You tried to showcase the Liberian national team in Minnesota to play with one of our teams in the diaspora. You approached the U.S. government through its parastatals, and you obtained visa. Unfortunately, the team did not come. The team did not come. The purpose for which you worked overnight did not materialize. Notwithstanding that, the Minister of Sports was here watching the World Cup game. True, that's what we heard. Since the national team was not coming, their visas were canceled. Was it not necessary that the Minister of Sport, who was bringing the Liberian national team, and the team did not come, was it not important for her to remain in Liberia instead of coming? Question.
That would have been nice. That would have been great. I understand your concern of where you're driving at, but I absolutely have no control over that. We wrote a letter of invitation to the minister and to the embassy to ask them to grant her visa to come here for the purpose of the game. And she was granted a visa. So she had a U.S. entry visa in her passport. Prior to the game, prior to her coming to America for the game, she traveled to Asia, I think Korea or somewhere from there. While she was there, she canceled the game. So it was the government of Liberia that canceled the game under her signature. I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with her movement here or there. it was unfortunate that she came with, and the purpose for why she was coming to America, you're right, was to attend the game. And we had no control over that, sir. So she, as opposed to going back to Liberia after Korea, knowing that she had canceled the game, she came to America. I mean, I don't know how we could have stopped her from coming. Maybe the people at the port of entry should have asked her and said, "Hey, if you were given this visa to go to Minnesota for a game that has been canceled, why are you going to Minnesota?" But they didn't ask her, and so she came. So that's the context in which that happened.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Nippert, and thank you, Mr. Russell. Mr. Russell, I want to jump straight.
Thank you, Mr. Russell. Thank you so much.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
I want to share a screen with you, and then I will go into my question. But while I'm sharing the screen, I want to ask you my question. Mr. Russell, I asked you about a demographic in Minnesota for a particular reason. Let's drill down into that data. You spoke of the different communities in the Liberian general community. Who would you say is the largest community there in Minnesota?
The largest community within Africa?
Within Liberia, within the Liberian community.
The largest ethnic community within the Liberian immigrant community here?
Thank you for adding that note. Yeah.
Okay. So I think it is. I don't know for a fact because I don't have the data to back it up, but I think it's Nimba. So Gio and Mano, I think is the largest group.
Okay. All right. Nimba.
That would be Nima.
Yeah, that's what I said. Nimba. Yeah.
All right. Within the Minnesota, within Brooklyn Park in Minnesota, is that right?
Well, yeah, within not necessarily in Brooklyn Park because like I said earlier. I mean, we have a significant number of Crown Sapo people here. We have a significant number of Guiomano people here. Okay. But many of these communities, I know the Guiomano group that I'm, affiliated with, many of them have moved out of the core Brooklyn Park area. Okay. Now, I'm not so sure about the Sapo Crown group, if they moved out to or if they are here. But that's probably the issue there. That those two groups are the two counties dominate now. They used to be in Brooklyn Park in large numbers, but they've since moved out to greener pastures and other areas. So I'm not sure what the numbers are right now.
Okay. Thank you. Are you seeing the chart that I have up here?
I see it, but I mean it is small. So let me see.
Well, let me try to blow it up.
Okay, no, I have it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean you should have this. This is all right. It's blown up now, so you can see it correctly. So this right here shows that for the various candidates by Milo, arithmetic, it shows that you lost to Madam Hordat or Hisley, however you want to call it, Hisley,
Yeah.
261 vote. And I pulled this up because I wanted us to go by precincts. Because it will narrow down some of the questions that my fellow panelists ask. And it will also show, how did you go about your campaigning? And you will lead us into this. We don't know the precincts. You know the precincts. There are 12 precincts here, Mr. Russell. You only won 3 out of the 12. The rest were won by Miss Hisley. Mistress Hisley or Miss Hisley. Why do you think that is so?
Thank you. Yeah, so as I was saying, we're still doing our analysis and all of that. But if you look at, if we start from the bottom, Osseo precinct 1, there's only one precinct in Osseo. You see there that both Charlie Kistler, who's a Republican, and Huda, they got higher numbers there. So that is Huda. For context, Huda is married to a white man, and that Osseo there is a predominantly white area, and also a predominantly Republican area. You're seeing that the Charlie Kistler, who's a Republican, got some significant numbers there too as well. Okay, so again, like I said, so that's one of the places I talked about. You see the huge numbers that she got. We campaigned in that area. We had our white canvassers there campaigning in that area, but obviously it was not good enough because I mean she came out with 160. The other guy came out with 136. We only had 85. I mean, we have people on the ground there doing a lot of stuff. So there were a lot there playing out there. But again, like I said, so when you have, a lot of the folks, they look at incumbents, to look at the name recognition. Oh, I voted for this person the last time, I vote for them again this time. So that's part of what was happening there. So a lot of the places where we have, I can't tell from this. I have to go look at another chart to see. I mean, it was pretty obvious for me to pick out Osseo because it's right there. It's only one precinct. But the other parts of this chart, I think WWP1. I think that's within the Liberian area where, some of these places are where Liberians are heavily located. So WWP1, I think it is. WWP2 is also in that area. So I got a significant number compared to her there, or I got 6 or 7. And so all of the W's, WWP1, P2, P3, P4, WWP5, P6, those are all where we have predominantly Liberians living in those areas. And then WCP1, WPC2, WPC4, and WCP5, those are all mixed areas. And this is where Huda lives. She lives in one of these area up here in the central belt. So you can see there that I only defeated her in the WCP2 and WCP4. I think she lives in that area there. I think that's her precinct there. So that's part of what is happening in these numbers. But all of the WWP1 to 7, where Liberians live all over the place, but they predominantly live in those areas because that's where we have a large concentration of apartment complexes, and many Liberians live in these apartment complexes.
Alrighty, you see, thank you so much for explaining the data. I wanted to pull this up because let me take this down so that we can talk about it. Let me go back here. All right, so what I'm hearing, Mr. Rosso, is that I know when you were first explaining, you said some of the reasons why the Liberian candidate didn't win is because people voted on tribal lines and people were not looking at the community, and the Somalian community is more structured than the Liberian community. Semitic community is based on clan. Liberian is based on, I forgot the term you used there. And so I wanted to drill down into it. And while we're talking, I got people watching. They give me a lot of call. They even sent me some data here. Do you know a name called Susan Parr? You're muted.
I said yes. We work together.
Did you support Susan Parr?
Yes, I did.
Against a fellow Liberian?
I supported Susan Parr. A Liberian was running against Susan Parr. Yes, I did.
Okay. It will be elementary to ask you why you did. I mean, you say you work together. But do you think that was the right decision?
Yes, because this is politics now, so we got to take the emotions and all of that. So it's about strategy. Yeah. So it's about strategy and all of that. So when my fellow Liberian,
I'm going to go in off what you said, because you said Liberian voted based on tribal lines, and because we were not structured. So I want to drill down into what really happened.
Yeah. So it's, like I said, you called me like the day after. We're still doing our analysis, but let me be clear, very succinct, but very clear. We got huge Liberian turnout, huge Liberian support. I'm not going to sit here and blame the Liberian community, because that's not the case. There were so many. You cannot win with just Liberian alone. So you have to diversify. You have to reach out to other communities. You have to do all these different things. But there were a few, number of Liberians who information reaching us said they were voting based on tribal line, or people were telling them, don't vote for this person, vote for that person, and all of that. Some of those things happen. I don't have any information to give you to verify that. But I just want to say publicly, and I said it last night on Spoon, to thank the Liberian community for showing up, for participating in the process, because the numbers increased from 2024 to 2026. The number of Liberians who show up to vote, the numbers increased significantly. So, having said that, though, to go back to your questions, why did I endorse my former colleague? So this is not just somebody who I just know. This is somebody we worked together on the council, on the city council, to deliver for the Liberian community. But when my fellow Liberian and friend, who also helped me in my campaign the last time and knew I was running again against this Kenyan lady, he endorsed her and decided to support her. Okay, 4 months after he did that, I was struggling with that decision. It's politics, brother. This is not you, the bigger guy, you the this and that. No. Okay, if you support my opponent against me, I had a much greater chance of winning than he did, because I have been, around this. I ran for this seat before. This is his first time running. Doesn't matter. But when you endorse the woman I'm running against, who I lost to by 48 votes, and the woman you are running against for the very first time came to me and said, hey, and Susan Parr and Hulda work in the legislature together. She's in the Senate, Hulda is in the House. Hulda refused to work with her and chose to support the Liberian guy, Nehemiah, over Susan. Susan then came to me, hey, Winfred, we work together, we work on city council, blah, blah, blah. At first, by tradition, I will work with the incumbent, because we serve in the legislature together. We are Democrats and all of that. But she doesn't want to work with me. She wants to work with my opponent. So I'm sitting and say, wow, I have to think about this, because to do that is going to fracture the community. Now, a lot more people know me. So you see my name all over the board, but they don't tell the story that this guy did this. And as a result, they say, okay, I would support, my friend who, that would be an inroad into the Asian community that will help me to win. So that was the thinking behind it. That was the strategy behind it. So it was not like, oh, Winfred just saw this guy, they say, oh, they support this woman. No, it didn't happen that way, But I never did go and tell folks, don't vote for him, vote for this one. No, even on Spoon, I mean, I can send you, documentary evidence of me texting people and telling them when you go in there, because I know the woman she's not unpopular. She's not an unpopular senator, and she's an incumbent. I know it was tough for me, even though I had a name recognition, I ran against this candidate before. It was tough for me, but it was even tougher for him because this was his first time running against an incumbent popular senator.
Okay. I just want to let you know that I did get a call from the OLM leadership, the Organization of Liberian in Minnesota, and they told me that you contributed to, the defeat that the Liberian community suffered because you endorsed a non-Liberian against a Liberian, and so things went the way they went. I just wanted to put that out there. That's what I brought up, Susan Parr. I'm looking to bring on the OLM leadership on the show so that they can defend their statement as well.
Yes.
When I'm going to bring on Nehemiah Ghali, I said no. Mr. Russell is the guest tonight. I don't want to interrupt the show. I'm going to keep Mr. Russell. Nehemiah Ghali will come on another time. So I just want to say that to you. But go ahead.
Okay. No. So because when you say the OLM, if that's what the OLM, I can challenge you that no leadership person in the OLM said that. So if someone pretending to be a leader within the OLM said that, you can bring the OLM leadership on. If they attributed the division, quote unquote, within the community with respect to this election on me, that's not true. So bring them on. And I can call the executive director of the OLM right now and ask him to come and join the show.
Okay.
But Mr. Wright, Mr. Wright, let me just chime in a little. They defeated their own purpose. Mr. Russell went on the side of an American, of someone who he felt that he should support, and the other Liberian went against him. So like two Liberians getting in the ring, instead of going together and say, look here, compare notes, come on a convergence of ideas and thoughts and a plan of action, they were attacking each other. The other man, I don't know whether his name is Nehemiah, you don't vote for Winfrey. Winfrey is saying, because he and the lady work together, so he supported the lady in his office. Right there, you can see that you were boxing yourself in. How could you have won? So in my thinking, therefore, and it's very rationalized. It's logical. I will say here that you're defeated yourself because you felt that if I can go up, this other guy can go up. So as a direct result, you went as oppositions to each other. Definitely you could not have won, just as he did not win. That's exactly what it is. That is exactly, is correlated to your respective actions. Your actions were against each other. So definitely you will not have won, just as he did not win. I hope you agree to that analysis, sir.
I don't agree, but I mean, I respect your opinion and your views because it didn't, it's not as simple.
And I will go a little further. I'll push a little more. Did you support someone who you work with against a Liberian? Did you support a colleague whom you work with against a Liberian?
Okay, so if presented with the scenario I just laid out, we are in a political space, right? And this was brought to the Elder Council and all of that. So, okay, people made the political decision that they felt best suited their candidacy, right? And when you support someone who I'm running against, who have a very, very strong chance of defeating the two largest minority groups here in Brooklyn Park, for example, are the Asian folks and Liberians, not Kenyans, Asian and Liberians. You have Black Americans, you have Nigerians, you have other groups, but the two largest in this district, the Asian, I mean, the white are the largest, but among the minorities, Asian and Liberian. So this Kenyan woman.
Let me interject there, Mr. Wilfred. All due respect to you, Mr. Russell. Did you support your compatriot? Did you support him?
Of course I did. I didn't campaign against it. I would never do that. I never campaign against it. I mean,
did he support you?
Oh, he said he did. I'm sure he did. But you know, I mean, I can only tell you what I did.
Did you support the lady with whom you have been working, who was also contesting? Did you support that lady?
Yeah, because you just said, Mr. Russell, that you support that Susan Parr.
Exactly.
No. Okay, you asking me what I'm saying. So you okay? No. You don't make it seem like I'm, okay. Don't confuse this stuff. If you ask me a specific question, what I said was that.
No, let me make it clear because I'm asking you a question.
I am making it clear. I'm making what I said because I don't want it to get confused.
Mr. Nippet, please give you the time to explain.
You can't hear. You can't.
Mr. Russell, come on, please. Mr. Russell,
what does he say? I can't say what. No.
Russell, go ahead.
Mr. Nippet, don't say. Come on, let's have a conversation. What I said it openly. When the host asked me, I said it openly, and I will say it again. Okay. I endorsed Susan Parr 4 months after Nehemiah endorsed Huldah Hisley. I said that. Okay. But I said after that, but I did not go and tell people, hey, Mr. Nippet, don't vote for this person, vote for this person. That's what I said. I did not say I did not endorse her. And I said I have documented evidence to show that even people who are going there to vote, I was encouraging them to vote for Mr. Nehemiah. So even though we had the endorsement, I was not out there campaigning against Mr. Nehemiah. I never did that. And I have evidence to show that. That's what I was saying. So
would it not have been better instead of endorsing, instead of truncating the chances of Nehemiah by endorsing Susan? Don't you think that was the best thing to do? Not to endorse Susan? Don't you think that was the best thing to do, not to endorse Susan? Irrespective of the fact that you worked together. But there was a Liberian in the contest.
But I'm also a Liberian in the contest who my opponent.
Very well, thank you. Then you come to my point.
But what?
You should have been face to face or back to back. You should have been like a team.
But Mr. Nippet, I never disagree with you on that. I never disagree with you on that. He did what I did. I did what I did, and I owned it, and I agree.
And at the end of the day, what happened? Logically speaking, therefore, at the end of the day, the both of you will lose. And it interprets the scenario that is ongoing in Minnesota. That you, the Liberian community, you do not hold together. That's what they interpret. That's a litmus sample. That's a litmus sample between you and Mr. Nehemiah. For some obvious reason, you decided not to be supportive of each other. It's a litmus sample that caused you to fail. As simple as that, sir.
Let me. First of all, Mr. Russell, you want to come in?
No, I don't want to. I mean, his opinion. His opinions are his opinion. I'm not going to, because I'm on the ground. Do the fact. If you look at the data and my performance against you know, I mean, there are a couple of things. I mean, it's hindsight. You can say, okay, yes, we do this, but if you, you know, if you embrace and endorse my opponent for whatever political strategic reason, okay, and so people felt that, okay, maybe you should not endorse, you just step aside, I would have been slaughtered politically in the polls, okay, and so we are looking at political positioning. Now, it doesn't matter who did it first or did it second. The fact of the matter is we did it. He chose a side, I chose a side. Okay? Now, if true, and I'd agree, I mean, the community too, as collective, as a community, I'm not going to blame the voters or blame the Liberian people because they show up, they did their part. So those of us who were there, the political leadership and all of the elders and all of these folks, this is part of what we were supposed to come in and say, look, if representation is critically important to us in the community, let us, you know, everybody has the right to run and do whatever they want to do. But if you look at, you just pull the numbers here. You get the numbers, right? My chances of defeating this woman is much higher than any of the other Liberian candidates. That's just the fact. You look at the numbers. She defeated me by 7 percentage points. Okay?
Amounting to 200 and something votes.
261 votes. 261.
Yeah.
You see that?
Okay. So what I'm saying is that where the community, I think, would be helpful, I own up to what I did. I'm not saying that was right. For me, at the time, you know, I felt we had no choice. Like I said, I waited for 4 months to make that decision because I knew it would have been polarizing. It would have been difficult. But at the end of the day, we had to make a decision that we felt was right for us, given the circumstances, right? So, but this is where me, all of us, community leadership, pastors, everybody would have come in and say, okay, representation is critically important to us. Look at all of these candidates. Yeah, you can run, but you don't have a good chance of winning this incumbent senator. So run for something else, get your name out there, you starting, you know, we can have that conversation. But it was not my decision to say, you, Mr. Nippy, run for this, you, Mr. Nupu, run for this, you, Mr. Wright, run. No. But I'm saying that would have
Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright, let me interject.
Okay, go ahead.
Just 1 second. Let me just interject right there.
Please.
The point is clear, Honorable Russell. You've been doing well. I think you have a strong vision. You have a desire. You have the requisite competence and expertise to becoming anything you wish to become, whether it is in the diaspora or Liberia. And I think you are planting some seeds in Liberia in the hopes of running for the House of Representatives or Senate. I get that from this conversation. The point I was trying to drive, the point I was trying to drive out here is that
political future in Liberia?
But I represented Liberia for 11 years as political counselor. So I know these things. When the language speaks, I understand it with I can decipher the language. Yeah. What I would wish,
Mr. Russell is silent, so no year agreement.
What I would wish to see and encourage you, if you still have that dream, don't kill it. Don't turn the tower in. You can still make it. If I were you, and I knew that I had gone for the first time, and there were 40% less votes, and I coming for the second time, and I stood a better chance of winning the incumbent like Joe Biden, what I would have done was to go behind the scene and talk with because politics is dynamic. You should not have suppressed your interest. You could have gone to the Reverend, choose one good Reverend. But yeah, you have sister Liberian churches within the Liberian community. But you chose 3. You see where where you failed. So next time, in the next 2 years,
What do you mean I chose three? No, I didn't get that. I don't understand that.
you said that there are 60 churches, 60 Liberian churches in the place you are, but you went to three.
Okay, no. So what I said was it in response to I don't know a question
No, I'm bringing something home to you that you can use as your future platform. You have 60 Liberian churches. You can win this in common. It is not difficult. What I will say to you is that I know Nehemiah will come back again. You do your work, be like Nicodemus. Go out in the night, talk to the church people. The voice of God, the people is the voice of God. When those 60 churches assembled, they can bring the Liberian people to you. 50,000 Liberians voting for you, and then you are knocking doors. You will not be 200 something, 200 something 7% short. You will not. So if you take the advice out, and I hope you were not thinking that I'm beating on you. I'm just trying to analyze where the error was between you not winning, and Nehemiah not winning. So, because there was no conversion of ideas, the thoughts were in splinter direction. You going your way, Nehemiah going his way. But you could have just circumvented him, go behind the scene and talk with your pastors. So I crave your understanding and your indulgence. In the next 2 years, don't give up. Whether you're running across the Atlantic or you'll be on this, make sure you check with your Liberian. He laughing because you know what I'm saying that true. I
All
want
right,
to
Mr.
stop right there.
Okay, let's bring in Mr. Nubo. Mr. Nubo, you've been very patient. Mr. Nubo. Okay, so while waiting on
Yeah.
Mr. Nubo.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Is it closing or
no. We still got a guess was.
okay? I don't want to continue beating on a guest about his campaign, but he told us something that he collaboratively work on with EULA, which is um, dual citizenship issue, which might lead to diaspora no voting. I want for him to explain how far they have gone, how many Liberians they know are eligible for dual citizenship or for voting in Liberia election? Or is it going to be like uh, how it is all the time? We don't know. We don't have record, no, and we cheat here in the diaspora like we do in Liberia. So no, I mean, or those uh maybe if you want me to break it down, I can do it. But those are my two questions: diaspora voting, and do they have any clue of how many Liberians in the U.S. because diaspora know apply to all those countries outside Liberia. But we are talking about let's localize it to the U.S. voting. Do we have any clue as to how many Liberians in the U.S. that may be, eligible to vote in the 2029 election?
No, thanks for that question. Unfortunately, I do not. So I work with them. It initially, but Emmanuel Wetty would be the person to talk to to get information on that. I'm sure he has access to all of that data. I don't, Mr. Noble. I don't have that information.
But where do you think he will get the data from now? Does Eula have any data?
I suspect they do. I don't work for Eula. I've only collaborated with them, so I don't know if they do or not.
Mr.
Okay.
Nubo,
We
you
do not
you
have.
heard this thing before.
No. Hold on.
Leave leave our guest
hold
alone.
on.
He does
Hold
not have
on.
that information.
Hold on, Mr. Nepe. You had a flow. I didn't interfere.
I'm trying to
Okay.
help you, sir.
In Liberia, we don't have any data. Even in the US here, we have no data. So I want for our guests to tell us what he will get the data from. When I was in Atlanta, we said there are 200,000 Liberians in the state of Georgia. That was faulty information. That is not true. And I don't think Wetty will have access to the ships data, the Census Bureau data. They create in what they technically called ship data, ship files. I don't think Wetty will have more information to that, as compared to somebody who was running in the US of A for an elected position. So it's are we going to invite Wetty here and invite him here?
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because no, they are talking about diaspora voting, and they don't know how many. They have no clues of how many Liberians here eligible to vote. And then tomorrow, if we get to go ahead, it will be like we having election in Plebo, where somebody vote 3 times. So that's what I'm asking. Anyway, anybody who can come in, they can come in. Thank you.
Here's what I want to say. Mr. Wetty is the former leader of Eula. I don't think he is the current leader.
No, he is not.
Okay, so meaning he is not. He wouldn't be the right person to contact. But we'll try to reach out to Eula administration. I know we had him here on the show one time. There's a guy in Philadelphia. He's very active. He'll come. We'll talk to him.
No. I mean, I remember that. I know. I don't know what you're talking about. The guy had no clue. The guy in Philadelphia he had no clue.
I'm saying he is the current leader of Eula.
Yeah, he's the current leader. He has no clues. So
Okay.
I will push here for transparency that we want Liberians here to vote when the head of Eula does not even have any clue of what is going on.
Okay, I'll leave that as your
be it transparency or be it the number of Liberians who are eligible to vote in Liberia in the US. They don't know anything about that. They don't have any record.
Mr.
We have been
Nubo,
explaining on this show here that in Liberia we have no record. Eula has no record. Eula has no control over Liberians here. How many Liberians? I'm in Philadelphia. How many Liberians here in Philadelphia know the name Eula? Know that Eula represent them? Not many.
All right. Let wait until we get the leadership on the show. and
Okay.
then you can pick them to task
Okay.
on that. Because I can't answer that. Mr. Russell can answer that. Nor can Mr.
Okay.
Nick answer that.
No, I can answer it. I
So
can
let's
answer it.
yeah. No, but you're not part of you not are you part of leadership, sir?
I know exactly what EULA is.
No,
With
no, Mr.
Wetty, he
Yeah,
Nippy.
called
Are
yeah,
you
Wetty.
a leader part of
that is my
leadership?
explanation with one, Mr.
Yeah.
Nippy.
With Makuni.
Which
Okay, okay.
which
Archie,
gentlemen, please.
let me
They don't
close,
have an
Archie.
office.
Gentlemen.
Archie, let me close.
No, you're not. Are you closing on what now?
I mean, it's
You have another
after
question
8.
for
I
Mr.
will
Russell?
not close.
No, we're not closing yet. We want to shift to another.
He won't close the Tabadubo.
Okay. So,
Hold
how
on.
many hours our guests want to give us?
Okay, Mr. Nippy, Mr. Nubo.
Yes.
We got the guest for at least for the next, let's say, 23 minutes up to 9
Okay.
o'clock. Is that right, Mr. Russell?
Yes, just give me a quick second. Someone's at my door. I'll open the door for them.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up your the neck stuff, and I want to switch gear a little bit and bring in the neck something that you wrote on,
Okay.
so that we can get his view on it.
Okay.
Now that he has accepted that he may run for an elected position in Liberia, because he didn't disagree with Mr. Nippy, so I'm going to ride with him.
I was off that time. I didn't know about it.
Yeah, Mr. Nippy said he may want to run for a position in Liberia. He didn't say no. Nobody said no. I'm not doing it. But he
Yeah.
didn't say that.
And Mr. Nippy, he said want to run, right?
I don't know about that. But yeah, you can
Mr.
Well, I
Nippy is
run.
running for Southtown.
No, I will carry you. You will be the Auditor General.
No. I would be there. I would be your campaign leader in Southtown.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That would be good. That would be great.
I mean, the calabash, with palm wine, and this and that, will be my pay.
No. I got
You get some money from Joy Weir and Kofa.
no. Mr. Russell will help us with the campaign.
Okay. Mr. Russell is back.
Yeah, the guest is back, gentlemen. The guest is back.
Yes.
So, Mr. Russell, I wanted to switch gear a little bit for the at least 20-25 minutes we have you for. Are you aware of the Liberia Election Commission increasing the price or the prices for the positions that anyone interested in running will have to pay in order to
The
run? Are you
fees?
Right, like a fees.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware of that, Mr. Russell?
No, I'm not aware of that. I haven't paid particular attention to that.
Okay, so let me give Mr. Nubo, who critiqued the neck on that just today, I'm sorry, to lay the to give us a summary on that, and then we'll want to get your view on that, Mr. Nubo.
Yeah. Well, I will try.
Yeah, you did a great job earlier. The same summary will work.
Yes. I read yesterday that to run for president, you have the registration fee now is $10,000 US. To run for vice president is $7,000. And to run for senator is 5,000. And for representative is 3,000. And I feel that amounts to selling the positions to the highest bidder. We have market women, and even at the same time, we are saying that 30% of our lawmakers should be females. And we want the young people, even though Ellen tried a formula and it did not work, we still want the young people to come into the government. Where would they get the money from? Is Jonathan Wheeler is working with the current lawmakers in their job security efforts. So no, but you have not read it. I read it yesterday. I responded to it today, and that is the background I'm giving you. Yesterday when I posted it, I talked with somebody who is close to Wheeler, and the guy said, most of the people that are responding say they for the presidency they want the fee to be increased to 150,000. I said those are the people who are groupies of the power that be. I know that is the situation or the topic we're discussing when you came on, and I don't know what is your take on it. Should we go ahead and sell the those positions for the people who have money, because uh, we may not have money to run the campaign in 2029, even though I know in Liberia we have something called the budgetary process, where the election
Well,
commission will
I
make.
think Mr. Nubo, let allow
Oh,
Mr. Russell to form his own opinion.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
it seems like you're
That-
leading him
well,
now.
well. I think there's some contagious disease from Honorable Nippy that caught me. That.
Okay, Mr. Russell, I get your
That's the
take.
tabadu you ate.
Yeah, Tamadu contagious disease.
Yeah, but thanks for that explanation. The only thing I'll say though is that any policy or law that we bring forth to restrict or stifle the unfettered access of citizens in the electoral process is wrong. I will not support that.
Mhm.
So whether it's increasing the fee for people to participate, I mean, we should lower the fee to encourage more people to participate in,
Right.
our democracy. So we know here to run for me to run for a seat in the House, it's only $100.
Wow.
It's only $100.
No, hold on. Are you serious though? 100
No,
bucks?
I'm dead serious. It's $100.
Even
Because you
state.
want more, you want to encourage, and you don't want any impediment, whether real or perceived, put in place that will restrict people participation. Because we try to welcome everybody to come in. That's where people like us, from humble beginning, immigrants, and all of that, we can participate because they encourage you, they embrace you, they will not, so anything that interferes with that, I would not support. So, but clearly, will reject whatever proposal, whatever the rationale is that they were using to hike the fee for political participation I'm not going to support it. I reject that.
Okay, let me get something clear. Is it for the state representative or the federal representative that costs $100?
I've only participated in a state representative.
Okay,
To running for state representative, it's $100. But I can almost
which
guarantee you
should
that.
be something like in Liberia now.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank
so
you.
let me check the website here and see how much it costs.
But why are you looking at that, Mr. Russell? Let me jump in here with my one question. Let's play a little bit of devil advocate here. Do you think? Because I look on the NEC website today, and they got a lot of what they call strategic plan, and they want to do this, they want to do that. So you can see that it is. I mean, everything is finance heavy. But they want to revamp, retool the whole place up. Is that a valid argument to be made that we can burden a budget that is already, under strain? So we got to find a way to raise the fund that we need to put this place in the right order. Is that a valid argument to be made?
Okay, now I just got distracted because
Oh my God. Okay.
I was trying to find the speed.
Why are you looking up that for the federal representative? Let me answer.
Yeah,
Let
Mr.
me
Nubu,
give
go
my
ahead.
answer to Archie. It's not a valid argument. You look at some writing. Liberian man can write book anytime you give him the opportunity. So don't be fooled by the book they are writing. What are the new initiatives, the new innovations that the election commission is coming up with?
All right, but let me hold you right there then. Let me hold
The
you right there. Because
innovations.
in your write-up,
Our guest is still looking up how much
Mr.
it costs.
Nubo, in your
Yeah.
write-up, you made a few recommendations in your write-up.
Okay, yeah.
How you think those recommendations are going to get implemented?
Name
I
the
know you talk about going to partners. Who are the partners? The partners that sit on the string. They don't have money. America got no money to get anybody.
No. I mean, when you go back, we had time. There was a midterm election that cost several millions of dollars.
I'm aware of it. That midterm that was a by-election in Nimba.
By-election in Nimba.
Mm-hmm.
Why? So these people look for opportunity. The people at the neck, they look for opportunity to profit here. It should not be like that. We have to go by the law. If the law says you pay $500 to run for the House of Representatives, let it be there. And because George Numo is appointed the head of NEC, George Numo should not go there and touch it. That is my point.
Okay.
George Numo can come. George Numo need to come with new innovations. We are printing our ballot in Ghana or in China. And under George Numo administration, this is what we're going to do.
But Mr. Nippet,
Mr. Nippet, mute yourself.
No, he wants me to come in.
I want Mr. Nippet to come in because you make up a recommendation. And now you're saying
No, actually, you are confusing the whole thing.
Hi,
I came in because Honorable Russell or something.
No. When Honorable Russell is ready to come back, we'll give him the floor.
From me, we're going to go back to Honorable Russell. We go
Honorable
to
Russell
Honorable
is still
Nippy.
researching.
Honorable Russell will take his turn.
We
May
go
I
to
please
Honorable
come in?
Nippy. We'll take the whole night, the rest of the night.
No, I need to come in. You've
Yeah,
been dancing
we'll
there,
make sure he doesn't take the whole night.
don't mind it.
We'll make sure that we'll put some time do it through.
We are coming back to the old system where there must be hot tax pay.
No, but Mr.
We're coming
Nippy,
back.
let me ask you
It
this.
is 8:51.
Oh, Mr. Nuka, that's the problem. What about Tony looking at time? Relax.
Georgie, just relax. You have eaten
It's
sufficient
8:51.
tabado.
I'm keeping a clock.
Okay, clock keeper. We'll punch the clock at the right time. But let me just come in there quickly, snaply, and
30 seconds.
oh my God, goodness. We cannot come back to the poll tax and the question of if you have horses, the question of if you have bank account, which is now doable. You can have your little bank account, but I think it's a preventive mechanism, a mechanism that is being employed so that the incumbents cannot lose their seats as representative and as senator, because some of them have been there for 8.5. By the time we get to 2029, they will have completed their term. Huh?
We don't know that'll be true.
Well, you can surmise. You can suspect. Because if tell me who in Liberia will have to put, and wants to be president will have $150,000 besides those who we already know. So maybe what they're trying to do, or $15,000 for a senator, or $5,000 for a representative, or $3,000 for another lower position. With a market woman, I was saying it, who's selling potatoes.
But I just told you, if you go on that website, Mr. Nippy, the people are undertaking a lot of modernization. Stuff that Mr. Nuba recommended in his writing.
Look, Archie.
Mr. Wright, notwithstanding,
and go to next website. What new things they are trying to do?
I'm not getting a point, Mr. Nuba. What do you mean?
No. What are they going to do? Are they going to print the ballot? Are they going to transport the election materials? What are they doing with the money?
Mr. Nuba lost me.
And the money is not refundable.
Oh, well, Mr. Numa is right. If you're asking for $150,000,
so you actually, I don't know if we don't give you some peppermint. Thank you.
if you're asking for $150,000 for canvassing for the presidency, for instance, how many persons? The last time I witnessed, were almost 21 parties having standard bearers. So if you put that into context, 21 times 15, that's almost $3 million you're talking about there. It's almost $3 million.
One presidential candidate with deep pocket will buy all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
So Mr. Russell has an interest. He cannot be having interest in the diaspora to do something substantial, and he's been sending equipment, including fire service trucks and all of those things, going there for Ebola, and would not want to make his presence felt during the 2029 election. So what you are telling Mr. Russell, in essence, is that if you don't have 15,000, you better don't put your vote yet. Now, if he were to have $15,000 and does that and pays that for registration, what is he going to canvass on? I mean, you tell him before he can come to become a representative to vie for the seat of a representative or senator, you must have something like $300,000 to $400,000. Where is he going to get it?
I'm also saying this. Mr. Russell, are you back with us there? Okay.
He's back.
All right. So, have you? What you found out, sir?
Yes. Okay. So this is what I found out. To you guys hear me there?
Yes, we're hearing.
Okay. So as the filing fee varies from state to state, but many states, including Minnesota, for example, have flat fees. So in Minnesota, it's $300 to get on the ballot for Congress. And in New Hampshire, for example, it's only $50. But then there are some states that do. There are many states that do the sort of fee as a percentage of the congressional salary. So currently, for a House of Representative position, they currently makes an annual salary of $174,000.
Right.
So a 1% fee would be like $1,740. They use, for example, in some states. So, for example, in North Carolina, for example.
Right.
But there are about 17 states in the U.S. that do not charge for major party candidates for filing fees. So, say for example, if you were the candidate for CDC or UP or whatever, the major candidates, not not the other smaller party candidates, you would be given you will get on the ballot for free. So that they will not charge you at all.
Well,
Okay.
let me in
then,
Liberia.
Yeah. Okay. Just hold on. Let me just end this.
Okay,
But then,
okay. Yes.
So that's sort of like basically what it is. But what the Federal Election Commission, or FEC, it requires that for you to officially register a campaign committee to run for office, your campaign committee must have raised $5,000 to be your campaign coffers. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. That's
It made what they say, Baku sense.
In Liberia.
Let me just put my 1 cent there. I beg you, Mr. Nubo. Let me just come in there quickly.
No. Let me make.
Liberia is way there.
In Liberia,
Oh man.
if you are running on UP ticket or CDC ticket, they will pay your registration fees. You will not personally pay your registration fee, but you will pay that if your party is not a major party and your party, even like CDC will charge you because you want to run on their ticket. They will charge you fee. I know that.
At the party level?
At the party level, yes. Yes, I know that.
Well,
I know that. You don't know. You don't know that. I've been through it. 2011, I've been through it. I know it.
Okay.
CDC will charge you fee. And they will put you against somebody. They will say, we'll see, your pay is a so amount, and two of you come, and we'll see who is more credible.
And then after that, you go and pay the next fee.
Yeah, that's CDC. But I don't think that is the same story with the other political parties. Yeah. So, thank you, for the information, Mr. Russell. You made it very clear for for my argument.
Yeah, I mean, y'all both. I hope if you can, maybe you need to augment your argument with that information you just got. But even me, I've been in the country for well over 2 decades now. I don't know that information. I just heard it tonight. Thank you, Mr. Russell. Mr. Nepere, let have you coming, sir.
These people are putting a steel door
Okay.
to those who will not have the money.
Mr. Nippy,
Yes, sir.
just give me 30, maybe about 60 seconds.
I'll give you 2 minutes of my time.
Okay. No, let me just clarify something very quickly, right? So in Minnesota, to run for the House of Representatives, I want to know about the House of Representatives because that's what I went for. I have not done the Senate yet. It may be similar. To run for the House of Representatives, you either gather, I think it's upwards of about 500 signatures, okay, to get on the ballot, or you pay $100. So it's either or. So if you can gather 500, so then it's free. But if you want to, but I did not have the time to go around to gather the 500 signature. So I paid the $100 to get on the ballot. At the city council level, it's $25. But you got to, if you're running for mayor, you have to get 75 signatures.
So, Mr. Russell, let me for my clarification. So, if you were to get the 500 signature, that would have saved you from paying the money, right?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
And the city council level, if you're running for mayor, or you're running for city council, just for a seat on the city council, for mayor is 75 signatures of voters, of residents, and then you have to pay $25. So it's not either or. At the state, it's either or. Okay. So at the city level, you have to pay both. You pay $25 and 75 signatures, and they do check those signatures to ensure that you live in the district you say you live in. They do check them. And then if you're running for city council, you only need to come up with 50 names. So that's all I wanted to add.
So a system such as what he just alluded to.
I should come in. Please do your closing because we are 9:04 now.
I will incorporate my closing there.
Exactly.
I want to thank, I want to thank Mr. Russell for his brilliance. I want to thank him beyond being a very brilliant gentleman for his patience, because we on this program, we are many, but sometimes we try to see how we can extract the conversation by the questions that we bring to our guests. It is to encourage the guests that indeed we need them to come to make this place a home. Because if you see the TOP, it's a teaching our people. And only the likes of you, Mr. Kasser, the lawyers that we have, can make this place. We don't go behind people and try to put them down. We don't go behind you and say, Mr. Russell did this, Mr. Russell did that, this is the evidence here, and you guys go and lambaste Mr. Russell all over the place. We don't discredit people. We try to be very civil in our conversation, such that creates an environment that you want to always come back. I want to salute you this evening for being our special guest, and I hope and pray that you don't put in the tower. If you don't do it, since you didn't do it yet, don't give up. If you have the opportunity to run in Monrovia, run. Run. Because we need to change the minds of our people. We need people with fresh ideas to come on the scene. We need people who are so critical about the needs of Liberia, where they want for Liberia to go, what they want our citizens to become, especially not those of us who are living now, but who have a retrospective view of what Liberian citizens should be in the years to come when we have faded out. And I always call it a 440 relay. We have the baton in our hands and we are running this race. We want to hand it over to the generation that's coming. So I want to say to you, thank you so much for accepting our conversation, and please make Top Radio Station FM your home. It's been a pleasure, Mr. Russell. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Nippert. And we all share the sentiment. Mr. Nubo. Mr. Nubo?
Oh, I can.
We can hear you. Can you hear me? I know what he has done. He's probably going upstairs to his room. Every time he does that, he gets a problem with the connection. Mr. Nubo, you probably want to drop and come back in while I do my closing. Mr. Russell, I want to, American man said, piggyback on what Mr. Nippert just said. You have been a very, very informative, insightful, and a very professional guest here tonight. All right, so I see he's back in. So let me put him here. Mr. Nuba, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you people. I will make it short.
Okay.
Thanks to Mr. Russell, and I hope we'll get him back. I'm having connection problems, so I will make it very short. But he gave me some ammunitions, in my statement against the proposal from the NEC. Thank you, and that's my closing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And yes, and I also want to say, you've been very, very, engaging tonight, very open-minded, and we look forward to having you back on the program. And Mr. Nippert said, please, I know you're regular on Spoon, but please make this a regular home as well, too. We look forward to that. To you, sir. You're closing.
Thank you. I mean, it's a great honor to be here. I mean, the fact that you all, Claudia, like I said, thanks to her for reaching out and consistently. We get a lot of messages, but for some reason, I got a message and I responded to her, even though I was so busy doing what I was doing with the campaign and all of that. So thanks for your patience too, Claudia, and I'm glad we're able to connect.
Yeah.
So I've not heard about this show before, and I must say that Mr. Nippert and Mr. Nubo and even Mr. Cassell, who left earlier, you all are, man, you are you're a serious historian, man. You got a very sound political analyst. So it's a lot I learned from you all. I really appreciated the opportunity and to come here and chit chat with you all. And but I just want to, again, before leaving, to emphatically, I was talking to the community leader while we were here, based on that information you said, Mr. Wright. And he was at the hospital because his aunt, I think, passed away, Mrs. Tarr. So my condolences as well. But that information, whoever gave you that information, is false.
Okay.
It's a diabolical lie. But too bad he couldn't make it on the show. But I just wanted to clear that out for your viewers and your listeners and all of them.
Okay.
But it's been an honor. I learned a tremendous, I learned a tremendous amount of very good, beneficial political information from Mr. Nippert and Mr. Nubo and Mr. Cassell, and I'm grateful and I'm honored and I feel blessed. And so thanks for all the wisdom. I appreciate that.
And we're glad to have you as well, sir. We'll look for now. Are you referring to Mr. Kamata then? Okay. All right. Good. All right. Good. Thank you, Mr. Nippet. Mr. Russell. We'll get back to you again on another day, sir. Nice having you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, thanks. It was a great night. And I want to say good night to you all. Look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow. And I would reach out to Mr. Nehemiah Ghali, who ran for the Senate seat there in Minnesota, to have you on the show tomorrow. You see, this is why I know we're still live here. So we'll talk off the line. We'll talk off the line. But let's call it a night, gentlemen. See you tomorrow.
TOP FM